your one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal. Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me. That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. A very good evening. Welcome to Premier League Live as we kick off another great weekend of Premier League football, and match day 31 gets underway on the south coast as Bournemouth, chasing European football, take on a Manchester United side who lead the charge for the remaining Champions League places, and they might have a chase on their local rivals as well in second if they get victory tonight. That kicks off the weekend. That is jam-packed right the way through to Sunday afternoon. Tomorrow, Brighton take on Liverpool. Fulham host Burnley. Of course, Manchester City and Crystal Palace's game that was meant to take place tomorrow. That is, of course, postponed due to the Carabao Cup final. Evening games tomorrow. Everton host Chelsea and Brentford head to Leeds. Newcastle take on Sunderland in the Town Wear derby on Sunday at 12. Aston Villa, West Ham and Spurs against Nottingham Forest are 2:15 kickoffs on Sunday, and it all concludes with the Carabao Cup final Sunday at 4:30 as Arsenal and Man City face off for the first silverware of the season. But before that, we'll tell you the context of that result at the bottom of your screen, that Wolves and Arsenal did play their match day 31 fixture a month ago on the 18th of February. It finished 2-2, and this is the game that everybody else has in hand over Wolves and Arsenal. Remember, City will play their game in hand against Palace at a later date, and that will be selected in the next few weeks as to when that will take place, but it will take place, of course, within the next few weeks, and that is the game in hand they have over the league leaders, Arsenal. But they sit 9 points clear, Arsenal, but City might have other problems on their horizon, because United, if they win tonight, Man United, they will be within 4 points of Manchester City in second, and they will go to 57, United, with a victory. For Bournemouth, 8th place could be where they finish tonight. If they pick up all 3 points, they will leapfrog Everton, go up to 44 points, and within a point of the top 7 if they claim victory tonight. So a huge night under the lights at the Vitality Stadium between these two sides, who played out one of the games of the season back in December, a 4-4 draw at Old Trafford. Anything quite like that tonight, and we will be thoroughly entertained on this Friday evening. Let's have a look at the two teams then, starting this one, and starting with Bournemouth. Jorge Petrovic continues in goal. Jimenez, Hill, Senesi and Truffert are the back four for Bournemouth. Scott and Christie are in the defensive midfield positions, with Marcus Tavernier in the 10. Amin Adli and Rayan are the wingers, with Evan Nielsen leading the Bournemouth line. On the bench, Mandas, Diakite, Smith, Milosevic, Brooks, Gannon, Doak, Tot, Krupe and Enes Unal. No Justin Kluivert, of course, still out for Bournemouth. Well, for Manchester United, they are looking to really put the chase on their local rivals, and with an incredible set of results in the last set of games, just one defeat in 9, and they've won 7 of those Premier League games. United, consistency has arrived for Michael Carrick and his team. Sene Lammens starts in goal, a back four of Dalot, Yoro, Maguire and Shaw, a midfield of Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo, with Bruno Fernandes in the 10, Ahmad on the right, Cunha on the left, and Brian Mbeumo leading the Manchester United line tonight. Benjamin Šeško on the bench. Bayindir, Heaven, Fredrickson, Malacia, Mount, Fletcher, Ugarte and Xerxes all joined Šeško on the sidelines. But as I said, 8 goals between these two in the reverse fixture this season. One of the games of the campaign. Will we see a repeat, or will it be a game under a little bit more control from one of these two teams? It's huge, no matter what. 3 points will go either way, or will they share the points? We'll find out as we kick off match day 31 in the Premier League, and kick-off is next. A very good evening. Welcome to Premier League Live. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's been a few weeks without Premier League football here at LFS, with the Champions League stuff and of course the FA Cup last weekend, so lots to get right back into for the final 8 weeks of the season. 8 games between now and the end of the campaign in the Premier League, and every team has their targets in sight. For Man United, it's claiming the next best position really to the 2 title chasers, and that's 3rd place. They've got firm grip of it at the moment. Could make even further grip if they take victory this evening under Michael Carrick. But a Bournemouth side, as I said, chasing Europe of their own, and a team that fell away in their chase for Europe last season. And Tony Areola's side will want to make up for that when they come here tonight and for their final 8 games of the season. It will be Bruno Fernandes who will get us underway in a few minutes. Bournemouth, of course, in their home strip, black and red shirts, black shorts, black socks, and Man United in their 3rd kit, I believe, of all white with navy trimmings. So we get underway at the Vitality Stadium, and we're off and running. Man United side, who arguably one of the most informed teams in the Premier League at the minute, and one of the teams that really has cut themselves as the best of the rest this season, with Arsenal and City off doing their title challenging. Man United have emerged amongst a real cluster of teams that haven't been at the level this season, but Man United have certainly found their level in the last few weeks. And Michael Carrick has got something out of them that Ruben Amorim certainly couldn't get out of them beforehand. Will that deliver Champions League football by a canter for Manchester United? We will find out, considering no European football this season. And a straight switch back to Champions League football will be a big boost. But here's Evan Nielsen in the box early for Bournemouth, and gets a block there from Lenny Yoro to Man United. Puts it behind for the Bournemouth corner. Yeah, a bit of early possession for the visitors, but snatched upon by Bournemouth, who we know can really cause some problems for the big teams, and have done already this season. They've got their first corner of the game inside the 2nd minute by their Brazilian centre forward Evan Nielsen. Let's have an ear over to take this corner on this right hand side. This would be the perfect start for Bournemouth. Left footed delivery. Evan Nielsen threw himself at it, but was cleared away at the front post. And then Bournemouth finding Ahmad. Back to Bruno Fernandes. It really came to nothing, that Bournemouth corner. It was an attempt by Evan Nielsen, but he got nowhere really near it. In the end, came to nothing as they have the ball stolen away from them again, United. Dalot dispossessed by Ryan Christie. Joined alongside Alex Scott in the midfield tonight. Ryan Christie for Bournemouth. Usually we've seen him this season, Christie coming off the bench and making an impact, but from the off this evening is Evan Nielsen there, penalised for an offside. As I said, a Man United side who've really hit form in terms of their away fixtures, away results in the Premier League, or in terms of their results in the Premier League, shall I say. 7 wins in the last 9 games, only dropping points away at West Ham and away at Newcastle in that run. And speaking of their away record, it is a little bit less exciting than 7 wins out of 9 in total. They've actually won just 2 of their last 7 away league games. Albeit they've only lost 2 of those last 7 as well. Away at Aston Villa and away at Newcastle last time out they were away from home. Of course, lost to 10-man Newcastle back at the start of the month. Draws have been very common for United on the road. 3 of their last 6 games on the road have ended in a draw. Certainly Bournemouth love a good home draw as well. They've drawn their last 3 home league games against Villa, Sunderland and Brentford. Unbeaten in 5 at home. Now the Cherries. So both have good records. Both have a lot to live up for this season and this evening. But what can they produce on the night? Cunha plays it to Fernandes, who swings a ball in. It's deep and fed down to Dallo, who will cut it back to Ahmad. Edge of the box. Ahmad chips back onto his right foot. Good save and hooked away by Bournemouth just about. Jordi Petrovic with a great save, and now Bournemouth are on the break. Here's Marcus Tavernier. He's got options to his left and right. He feeds it to the right for Rayan. Rayan across. And wide of the left post it goes. Well, from one end to the other. Ahmad with a great chance at one end for United. Saved by Jordi Petrovic. We'll see it here. Chops back, sends his defender for dead and true fair. Great strike. Well saved by Jordi Petrovic. And then Bournemouth, as they clear it away, they work it into a space where they can find Tavernier and Akers in the middle. 3v3. He feeds the ball down the right hand side to Rayan, and from the narrow angle Rayan just fires it across the 6-yard box. Whether it was a cross for Evan Nielsen or a shot, either way it came to nothing. Evan Nielsen was close to it, but not close enough to make contact. But both sides threatening in the space of 20 seconds. True fair. Stolen away though from Amin Adli by Dallo. Casemiro a little sloppy though. Hands the ball back to Bournemouth. Lovely through ball by Senesi. Now finds Tavernier. I feel will be a key for Bournemouth tonight between the lines. Marcus Tavernier. A creative force in this Bournemouth team, and we're still without Justin Kluivert, who usually does pick up those pockets. Tavernier will be crucial. Here's Adli trying to feed it to Tavernier. Carries it to the left, back to Amin Adli. Now down the left to True Fair. Got a bit of an angle. He's just going to play it back to Marcus Senesi. Scott trying the reverse pass, but that one was loose. And to no one in black and red, goal kick it will be. Well, one thing about Bournemouth, they're not afraid to have a go. Antonio Iraola's side are certainly one of the most enjoyable teams to watch in the Premier League when they play. And they certainly gave us an entertaining game at Old Trafford back in December. It was a ping-pong game. 1-0 to United, then 1-1, 2-1 United, 2-2, 3-2 Bournemouth, 3-3, 4-3 United, and then 4-4. An incredible back and forth battle between these two. A real kind of bolt from the blue in the fact that the Premier League this season has been so much about set pieces, clean sheets, kind of strong defences, and teams kind of seeing each other out. It was a game that was a bit of fresh air at the time, where neither team could defend on the night, and it's made for an incredible game to watch as a neutral. A total of 39 shots between the two sides, 25 for United, 14 for Bournemouth. Only 18 of them on target, 9 for each team, but they certainly had their shooting boots on that night and they were clinical, both sides. Both had chances to win it late on as well in that game. Incredible fixture. So far already showing their attacking tendencies in the first 7.5 minutes here. Mainu, Maguire. Under a bit of a Bournemouth press here, Maguire, but he plays it out to Casemiro. Nice composure there. Fernandes down the left to Matej Cunha. Cunha trying the cross, got the better of Jimenez, but didn't get the right connection to the ball there, Matej Cunha. Goal kick it will be. Right, welcome in, Andy. Thank you very much for joining us. And did I hear this right? Bournemouth have the worst record for goals against at home. I'll check. I will. Well, Bournemouth have conceded 15 goals at home this season. There are teams with a lot worse. Actually, have a pretty good defensive record at home through Bournemouth. Man United away have conceded 24 goals on the road. That's as many as they've scored as well, so they give as good as they've got, really. And allow teams to do the same to them when they're on the road this season. United 24 scored, 24 conceded. Senesi, lovely through ball, finds Adley. The break off ball to Tavernier, who felt he was caught, but referee Stuart Atwell said no. Waved it away, and United with the possession, and Bournemouth in his own half trying to ping one forward. Too close to Jordi Petrovic, although that was a little bit wasteful. Cunha, Fernandes, little 1-2. Cunha again. Flicks it down the left-hand side. Shaw picks up. Taking his time, didn't want to take on his man there, Luke Shaw. Tries to play it back infield to Mainu, but easily cut out by Rayan. And then Maguire comes clattering in and puts it out for a Bournemouth throw. A little bit sloppy there from Man United after Fernandes and Cunha got them in a good position. Shaw, Maguire just took a few steps back and ultimately break down the possession and the momentum really for United. Evan Nielsen just about held that one up, but Christie couldn't keep the ball. Ahmad, now Cunha. Little 1-2s again in tight areas as Cunha tiptoes into the box. Cunha with his shots. Good save again by Jordi Petrovic. Called into action again, the Bournemouth keeper, and forces this one wide for a corner. Again, really nice play between Fernandes and Cunha. Really got a good connection between those two around the edge of the area. This time it's Cunha. Picks it back up on the edge. He sends Jimenez one way, drives back to the outside, and a little bit off balance there, Matej Cunha does well to get the connection he does, and the clean strike, and forces Jordi Petrovic into the parry wide and behind for the corner. Right, corner number 1 for United after Bournemouth had the first corner of the game. Oh, corner delivered really poorly there, I have to say. Easily cleared by Bournemouth at the front post. Bournemouth will recycle back to Sene Lamans. Nice little combination there as Ryan Christie brings it down for Bournemouth. So far the game's ebbed and flowed. There's been no real control from either team. Both have not been afraid to be a bit more direct, a bit more kind of aggressive with their approach in the attack. It's true fair there, trying to get too aggressive with Brandon Bournemouth. That's going to see him penalised, and a free kick goes the way of Man United. And possession's been around 50-50, just slightly being edged by Man United, only by a few percentage. There's Lenny Yoro trying to clear his lines there, hits the first man, and that goes out for a throw-in down the right. Michael Carrick looks a little bit confused at his team's idea there on the sideline. Of course, I mean, an incredible job that Michael Carrick's been able to do so far with Man United since joining. 7 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat in his 9 games in charge in his second spell as interim boss. I mean, an incredible turn-up since where Man United were before this current run. And the real dire straits they were in, albeit still chasing Europe, but kind of right in the cluster of teams and far from being leading the pack. And now they are leading the pack and come into this game, as I said, tonight with a 3-point gap on Aston Villa, a 5-point gap on Liverpool, and a 6-point gap on Chelsea, which gives them a real cushion. But if they win this evening, they put down the marker for the weekend that the rest of those teams below them have to chase and have to try and catch up with. And that's going to be the real benefit of playing Friday night, is the fact that if they do come away with the victory here tonight for Man United, it's not only a booster for them, but it puts a lot of pressure on those below them to try and keep touch with Man United and maybe not get dragged into a 3-team battle for the last 2 places, as we suspect 5th place to be enough for Champions League football this season. And the way the English teams have performed in Europe, albeit 4 of the 6 English teams knocked out of the Champions League in midweek. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Finds Ahmad down the right-hand side. He's got Truefair for company. Ahmad trying to chink his way past him. Truefair stays close. He's got a bit of help now as well with Adley coming back, but Ahmad finding Dalot, who again is dispossessed, but Ahmad's there to pick up the pieces just about. A couple of times already so far, Diogo Dalot's given the ball away a little cheaply. Maybe something Bournemouth will want to target. Here's Matej Cunha. He's seemingly got the better of his fullback so far, and Jimenez beaten here as he crosses Cunha. And it comes away from Cunha, Mbeumo, in the middle. It's Bournemouth scramble it away, but again, Cunha's the real outlet for United so far. Here's Maguire on a mazy run. And doesn't get very far and plays it back to Luke Shaw on the halfway line. Mainu. Casemiro. Fernandes, little flick into Mbeumo, back to Fernandes. Straight down the throat to Jorge Petrovic, but they're getting good production, United. Moving the ball nicely. Getting shots off and good positions. Adding the clean finish to it. Converting. That's what they've been missing so far. A positive first 15 minutes for the visitors here on the South Coast. As Evan Nielsen wins a free kick on the halfway line off Lenny Yoro. Look at the stats so far. United 3 shots, 3 on target. Bournemouth with just the single shot, as Luke Shaw does a bit of good strong defending against Evan Nielsen, but he seems to be the one so far, Evan Nielsen, causing a few problems to the Man United defenders. I mean, it doesn't massively come as a surprise, but don't shoot it, but we'll see what they can offer here from this throw in down the right hand side with James Hill. He's got the long throw in his locker. Launches into the area. Senesi was close, but Maguire got there ahead of him. And Cunha trying to hook it away for United to try and get them into an attacking position. As he finds Ahmad. Dalot on the overlap. Ahmad feeds it down the right for Dalot. Trays it first time. Fernandes! Good block in there by Tavernier on the recovery. Behind for the corner. Again, really good play by United. They look so comfortable. I mean, Ahmad here, you see that Dalot's going to get the ball and he plays it first time. Perfect ball to Fernandes. He makes a really good run. And a strong bit of defending from Marcus Tavernier to block him. But again, they seem to have that understanding at the minute, United, of where they want to find each other. Now they've got another corner. Fernandes will take. Right-footed. Hooked away. Picked up by Brian Mbeumo. He's swinging around the edge of the box there. Fernandes, oh, a little bit sloppy from him. Unusually sloppy from Bruno Fernandes as Christie finds Adley, but he was beaten off the ball there by Luke Shaw. Every time Bournemouth try and do something positive, United are there just to clean it up and retrieve possession. Must be a real confidence booster for Michael Carrick and all the players out there, the fact that so far United really haven't looked under any sort of threat. Albeit there, that was a little bit poor from Kobbie Mainoo. A little bit too excited to find Matej Cunha. Bournemouth throw. Had a few technicals there with the other broadcast, so we're a few seconds behind from where we were, but still on track. 18 minutes gone here at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 0, Man United 0. There has been United that have looked the more comfortable, certainly the more threatening in attack so far. No damage done to the Bournemouth defence. They pick it up here with Jimenez. Finds Scott. Down the right to Tavernier. Tavernier trying the cross. Blocked away by Yoro. Picked up by Rayan, who heads it towards the area. Oh, Maguire goes down there against Devon Nielsen and wins the free kick. Looked a little soft to me, but Harry Maguire winning the free kick. Of course, Bournemouth do have a few players out missing. Justin Kluivert, Lewis Cook, Tyler Adams as well, who's not here this evening. Key player in that midfield, and that's usually why we don't see Ryan Christie starting for Bournemouth. Usually Tyler Adams and Alex Scott have those places locked up in the midfield, but gotta say, so far they've done okay. But corner's been given here. Stuart Atwell has given a corner. Bournemouth are protesting it. Ryan Christie, the man with the armband for Bournemouth, is questioning the referee and the official's decision. They felt it was a goal kick, but see it again here. So it's in Bournemouth. He does play it off Senesi, and that looks to be a corner to me. I mean, will be a corner. They got that right there, the officials. Right footed, it's deep. Back post, punched away by Petrovic. Maguire struck it well away from goal, but it's picked back up. It's that far wide. Cunha hit it right with one of his own men. And Evan Nielsen there to make sure Bruno Fernandes didn't get on the end of that one, as that will be a throw. The referee here, though, has stopped the game for the moment. James Hill was down for the moment. He's back to his feet, but has to check up on the player before he resumes play. Maguire had a clean strike at goal there, but it was way off target. Certainly a strike of a centre-back, I gotta say. Diogo Dalot with the long throw here for United. Wouldn't say quite a launch, but a little bit of a push there on James Hill by Maguire. Gets Bournemouth a free kick, which they take quickly. That man's header is far from confident, but Shaw's there to play it back. Yeah, again, Man United have had all the answers to, albeit the very few questions that Bournemouth have asked them so far in the first 21 minutes. It's been United in control, United on the front foot, and Bournemouth having to react to everything Man United are doing. That's nicely won back though in a high space. Rayan from range. That's a lot better from Bournemouth. Sene Lammens forced into the first save of the night for him. Again, it's that bit loose from United there. Link up between Fernandes and Cunha that just doesn't quite go the right way. Stolen by the Bournemouth players. Played right through to Rayan, who struck from range. Good clean strike down to the left side of Sene Lammens towards that bottom right corner. Lammens did well to kind of parry it wide, but better from Bournemouth. Their first shot on target of the night. And they get a corner. Lots of bodies in the 6-yard box. Left-footed delivery to Whippet. Headed away by Maguire. Brought down on the edge by Christie. Truffert trying to lift it, but the deflection takes it into the hands of Sene Lammens. Well, Sene Lammens, of course, in a position that was very heavily criticised by Man United fans. Andre Onana, a real problem for them. Oh, given away here cheaply. Tavernier! The cross. They want a penalty here, Bournemouth, as Evan Nielsen went down. Referee said no. Of course, Craig Pawson, the VAR, will have a look. Here's Rayan. Whips it in. Tavernier struck it wide. And goal kick it will be. Well, this is two good crosses. Tavernier with the cross this time. Fired across the 18-yard area. Was Evan Nielsen pushed by Maguire? Looked a little soft to me. Yeah, just strong defending there from Harry Maguire. I don't think that's a foul. Yeah, there's nothing in that. And then the follow-up a little after. Cross on the right from Rayan, finding Tavernier in the middle. He struck wide. Better from Bournemouth though. That shot on target, that corner's just giving them a little bit of life in the final third, and one or two good opportunities coming off the back of it. Something to build off there for Andoni Iraola's side. Oh, that's not going to build the confidence though. Petrovic overhitting it to his centre-back Senesi, and that's gone out for a Man United throw. Dallo to take another long throw here for United. Maguire up into the mix. Launched towards Maguire, comes off the head of the Englishman, and Euro was in there too, but striding away with the ball is True Fair. Right on his own touchline, hooks it away up the field, and nicely headed by Caoimhan. And Ahmad back to his goalkeeper, Sere Lamans. Lamans' ball, gifting the possession back to Bournemouth, although they gift it back to United. Gift given between the two teams there, possession-wise, in the last few minutes. Fernandes, lovely ball down the left, finds Cunha, whips it into the box. Ahmad with a touch in the strike. Blocked really well by Adrien Truffert. Massive block. That's the second time tonight Ahmad's had a great opportunity in the box, and the first one saved, the second one incredibly blocked by Truffert, who looked like he was beaten from the first Ahmad touch. Set it up for the strike, and as he struck it, Truffert with a really good block puts it behind for the corner. Ahmad denied again. Fernandes to whip this corner in. It's corner number 4 for United. Right-footed delivery. Flicked on at the near post, and as it drops, and Bournemouth struck and cleared away by Bournemouth. Ball from Brandon Bournemouth is wasteful, and that goes all the way through and out for a goal kick. Not seen much of Brandon Bournemouth so far in the first 25.5 minutes for United. Seen Fernandes, Ahmad and Cunha all very heavily involved. Other than that though, haven't seen much of Brandon Bournemouth. Evan Nielsen tried to link up there with Rayan. Not on the same page though. Well, could set pieces become a key to this game, and maybe the first goal of this game? Bournemouth have the joint most set piece goals conceded this season, 16. Man United the second most set piece goals scored in the Premier League with 17. Only Arsenal have scored more from set pieces this season than United. Actually, Man United have scored 4 goals against Bournemouth in their last 2 games against them, albeit it was a club friendly in the summer. But 4 goals against them in the last 2. And the last time they met here at the Vitality was back in late April last season. And they drew 1-1 in that game. Bournemouth took the early lead. Antoine Semenyo, who's of course no longer of this parish. The other side of Manchester, he resides, Antoine Semenyo, at Man City. He gave Bournemouth the lead, although Evan Nielsen, who set up that opening goal on the night, was given a red card. And a late Rasmus Højlund leveller rescued a point for Man United on that in that game. It was a late season drop-off last season at Bournemouth. Really don't want to remember and don't want to replicate from last campaign. They were very much in the battle over European football, winning just 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just 2 wins out of the last 9 league games last season. Actually, only 2 wins in the league between February and the end of the campaign. Middle of February and the end of the campaign last season. Home to Fulham and away to Arsenal were the only 2 wins they had at the remainder of that campaign, Bournemouth. So a major drop-off when it came to the business end last season, and as I said, from a position of real dominance when they were leading the battle for European football last season. They're just falling away at the final hurdles. And they missed out completely on Europe. And others picked up the pieces. Next to Crystal Palace. Of course, winning the FA Cup got them European football. Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa picking up European football on the back of Bournemouth's demise. Bournemouth want to be in that mix again, and as I said, a win this evening would put them up to 8th, would get them within a real fighting chance of being in the European conversation come the final few weeks of the season. Of course, this is the last Premier League match week until mid-April. Man United, their next game after tonight is until the 13th of April, which is at home to Leeds. That's a Monday night game. So as long as the gap could have been. Here's Rayan, gets a drop of the ball. Referee's going to pull it back though for either a foul, a handball or something, but it's Man United with the free kick. See it here. Was there any sort of foul? Oh, I don't know if that does come off the hand of Rayan. I don't think it comes off his chest. Nonetheless, free kick was given by the referee. But as I say, I mean, Man United just 4 games in the whole of March, but from the 20th of March, which is tonight, to the 13th of April, a massive gap before they play again. In their final 7 league games of the season, their final 7 games of the season, are a lot of big ones. Leeds, Chelsea, Brentford, Liverpool, Sunderland, Forest and Brighton. Of course, some games to highlight in there. No bigger, I'm sure, than Man United, Liverpool in the start of May. Chelsea, Man United's another huge one at the Bridge in a few weeks. And it's very unprecedented that Man United don't play between the 20th of... I think it's 3 weeks. It is... Exactly. I'll work it out. Well, 30 minutes passes on the south coast and we still await our first goal. I think Man United's attacking threat has not dissipated but decreased, certainly from their early control. Bournemouth have maybe had a little glimmer of their own since. Here's Christie with a deep ball. That's too deep. Goal kick. At 24 days, by the way, between this game and Man United's next game. 24 days, 3.5 weeks. Quite remarkable. Of course, not in the FA Cup, not in any cups, not in any competitions other than the league for the remainder of the season, United. Bournemouth the same. They don't play till the 11th of April. That's 22 days when they head to Arsenal. A real unusual spell before the conclusions of the season come from April to the end of May. Senesi. James Hill. Right through the middle, trying to find Evan Nielsen. Just strayed a little bit. Allowed Lenny Euro to retrieve. Shaw. Trying to find Cunha. Battle really well by Jimenez, who wins it back. Finds Tavernier. Now Rayan. On that right hand side. He plays it backwards. Scott. Marcus Tavernier. Better from Bournemouth. Scott. Hill across to Marcus Senesi. Down the left hand side comes Amin Adli. Now Trufer. Is keeping the ball moving at the minute, Bournemouth, and trying to find their rhythm. Has kind of, I wouldn't say lacking, but they've kind of struggled to find that real threat against Man United so far in this first half. The only real opportunity that they've kind of caused them much threat is Rayan's shot from range that Saint Lamans was forced into making the save. Although a Man United team who haven't had a shot of any real significance in a decent while. Their last shot on target came in the 15th minute. Man United. Long ball into the box here. Headed away. Then away again by Caoimhan. Away by Bournemouth, but Bournemouth pick it up. Still in the Man United final third. Jimenez to Truefair as the fullbacks link up there. Truefair though, terrible. And Ahmad picks up the pieces. Now Man United are in business. Caoimhan finds Ahmad and Akers. A poor touch though. Forces him wide, allows Bournemouth to retrieve. Back into the space. Retreat, shall I say, back into the space. Dalot. Fernandes with a cross. Away by Jimenez. Again, it looked like Ahmad was clean through. The poor first touch let him down, carried him wide. Here's Caoimhan. Recycles it back to Casemiro. Now Fernandes. Blocked by Tavernier. Caoimhan. Casemiro now finds Ahmad. Round the right hand side. Dalot chips it across. Back post. Cleared and saved by Jordi Petrovic again. Bruno Fernandes with the effort. What a save by Jordi Petrovic again. This time with his left foot. Now Bournemouth are away. Truefair down the left. Trying the cross. Blocked by Casemiro. Bounces out to Amin Adli. He tried the cross. Was blocked by Ahmad. Corner. Jordi Petrovic. Massive. See it here. Casemiro finds Ahmad. Ahmad round the right side for Dalot, who plays himself. He stays on side. Clips it to the back post. And Bruno Fernandes with a clean effort with the right foot. But the save from Jordi Petrovic with his left foot off the line. Incredible goalkeeping. Massive, massive save. Jordi Petrovic has kept his team from conceding quite a few goals so far. Man United have had a number of chances. Jordi Petrovic has played a good game so far. Scott to take this Bournemouth corner. Right footed. Flicked away at the front post by United. Picked up by Truefair, who will hit one. Right down the throat in the end of Sene Lamans. It travelled a good distance there from Adrien Truefair. It's one of those venomous shots that just spins back on the goalkeeper. It's a tricky one to kind of get the measure of. Beautifully struck by Truefair, but Sene Lamans had it all under control. The first goal in this game is going to be huge. We are still awaiting that opener. 36 minutes into this one, but both sides pushing for it. Who will find the breakthrough first? Big stops at either ends. Been a really well fought first half. To say Bournemouth have done a lot of hard work to keep themselves in the game and give themselves a fighting chance of trying to take the lead. United have had certainly the better of it, but haven't been able to take advantage of that control. Oh, that was loose from Shaw. Poor header. Finds Evan Nielsen now in space. Can he poke it through? Trying to find Tavernier, but run the wrong side of Lenny Yoro, who had it dealt with. He clears away, but Jimenez gets the better of Caoimhan. Started to win a few of those 1v1s, Alex Jimenez. After Caoimhan really destroyed him in the first 20 minutes. Give him no chance. Certainly stepped up. There's the right back there of Bournemouth. Senesi. Directing players into space. Senesi still drifting forward. Goes for the late cross. And Evan Nielsen there over his head, but Shaw, a little bit panicked at the back post, puts it behind for the corner. To say that looked like it was all under control, and Luke Shaw could have left it, but Shaw didn't think so. That'll be a Bournemouth corner, which Marcus Tavernier will take, and it brings us all the way back to the first few minutes of the game where Bournemouth had the first corner, started the better. Corner taken short though. Tavernier, Scott back to Tavernier. Scott again. Dug out by Christie, but didn't go very far. Christie picks it back up again from the United clearance. quick to smother the pressure on Christie there. Well, Rayan cleaned out, and he had the last touch there. Rayan, that's going to be throw in for Man United. Michael Carrick in conversation with the coaching staff to see what Man United can do to find the edge and try and find that opener. 11 shots, 4 on target. A very productive first half for Man United, but no goals to show for it. That's the fear, that's the concern, that will be the problem. At one point, if Man United keep having chances and not able to break through, we've seen it so many times, teams controlling games and the better team and not able to take the opportunities end up getting punished. As Lenny Yoro there going to be punished for a foul on Amin Adli. Fairly central position from a good distance. Yeah, good ball by Christie, and it's the foul actually on Tavernier. It was Adli that picked up the loose ball after, but yeah, Tavernier just caught there by Lenny Yoro. Kobe Mainu and the like clearing, but fouled by Yoro gives Bournemouth a free kick here. In a dangerous area. Slightly wide to the right. About 27 yards out, 26 yards out, something like that. Excuse me. Quite a few in conversation to take this. Amin Adli, Marcus Senesi, Alex Scott, Marcus Tavernier, Alex Jimenez. I mean, it's all cacophony of players as it's down to 3. Scott, Jimenez and Tavernier, but which one of them will take it? As I said, a bit to the right of goal. 28, 29 yards actually, I would say, so a little bit further than I first expected, but still within shooting range if they can get the strike correct. Get it over that wall and dip it just at the right angle. 3 in the mix, but only 1 can take for Bournemouth. Tavernier left-footed! Good save by Senna Lamans, who had it covered. Yeah, good connection by Tavernier. Always benefited the left footer, you've got to say, from that range, and Tavernier swung it with his left foot over and up and over the wall, but Lamans was very alert as to what Marcus Tavernier was trying to do and had it well under control. Seen quite a lot of great free kick goals this season, direct free kick goals in the Premier League. Here's Rayan down the right. Takes on his man, gets a pass shown. Cleared away by Casemiro in the middle. Cunha did well to find Mbomo. Casemiro well challenged by Christie. Senesi with the follow-up header to keep it alive, and Adli. Casemiro still down after being crunchingly challenged by Christie, but he gets back to his feet slowly. Little 1-2 between Tavernier and Evan Nielsen, but the crowd of players in the middle in white shirts smothered the ball and dispossessed Bournemouth. It's a real clean game. Two teams really just going out to try and just fight for every challenge. It's really good to watch so far, really entertaining. Jimenez. Adli. Rayan finds Adli in the middle. Adli down the left for Adrien Truffert. Met by Diogo Dalot. Truffert trying to work an angle for the cross, but too high for Evan Nielsen. And again, Senna Lamans commanding his box. Well, 2.5 minutes of the first 45 to go, plus any additional time. So far, like a cutting edge in the final third from Bournemouth. And a lack of clinical edge, really, from Man United in the final third. It's kept this game at 0-0, but both giving it a good go to this point. Without anything to show for it, but a long way to go. Lovely touch by Christie, and look at the space that it opens up here for Bournemouth. Adli down the left. Chips past his man, and Dallo gets to the byline, trying to dig it out, but couldn't get the connection. Comfortably caught by Sene Lamans, but again, let down by his own touch there. I mean, Adley did all the hard bit, getting past Diogo Dallo and into the space where he needed to put the cross in, but he just took a heavy touch and forced him to try and dig out the cross rather than get a clean whip and strike on it. Rayan. Jimenez to Scott. Better from Bournemouth in the last few minutes, though. I say that. Every time I say that, I curse them. They just lose the ball every time I say it. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Ahmad. Under a bit of pressure. Plays it back to Dallo. Menu. Maguire. Into Cunha, but again, Jimenez wrestling and rattling his man. Oh, that loose ball picked up by Cunha, who's come more central now for the moment. Tracked all the way by Alex Jimenez. He's not letting him go here. Here's Fernandes. Cunha to make the run in behind Jimenez, who's out of position, but poor touch. Makes up for it though, Cunha. Keeps it in play. Feeds it back to Ahmad. Now Fernandes looking for the 1-2, and Jimenez makes up the challenge. Puts it behind for a United corner. Out of position there, Alex Jimenez, but he did his best and put it out for the corner. Last few seconds before we find out at much additional times coming in this first half. Pretty decent quality from both teams in the first half, but will there be a goal before the interval? Just the one additional minute at the end of this first period at the Vitality Stadium. Bruno Fernandes to take the corner for United for the 5th time in the game so far. Fernandes whips it in, headed away by a Bournemouth head. I think it was Alex Scott there. Got it away, picked up by Bournemouth. Now Fernandes wide on the right. Finds Kobbie Mainoo, but lack of movement and space and options as Fernandes tries to swing one in, but didn't even reach the box that time, and Rayan picks it up, finds Adley. Now Christie trying to put Rayan in a foot race with Cunha on recovery. Rayan wins that battle. Has to play it backwards, last seconds of the half. One last attack before the interval. Senesi. Referee gives them the chance. Plays it wide to Truefair. Isolated on the left. Cuts it back to Tavernier. One cross surely here. Truefair, they're reluctant to cross the ball. Need to do it quickly, Bournemouth, or the whistle will go here. Senesi, deep. Off the head of Adley. Cleared away by United. Drops for Jimenez, who ultimately can't make too much of it. And that is going to call an end to the first half. Both sides in a good fight so far, albeit no goals, but a really good competitive game. Both sides have had chances at either end. United certainly the better of them and have been the better side, but Bournemouth have hung in there, needed their goalkeeper at times too. And at half-time, it is goalless on the South Coast. Bournemouth 0, Manchester United 0. Your one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a 4th, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and battered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. Welcome back to Premier League Live half-time at the Vitality Stadium. It's Bournemouth 0, Man United 0. We've about 5.5 minutes before the second half gets underway. Lots of good chances in that first half, but no goals to show for them so far. But Man United definitely the better team in the first 45 minutes. But I have to say, though, Bournemouth did fight back well at the latter stages of that first half and did give it a good game and had a few chances of their own, but as I said, certainly I think Man United have looked the brighter of the two teams, but as I say, with a goalless scoreline, it could very much swing the opposite direction. Also this weekend, a quick look at the upcoming games in the Premier League. So a shorter look at the games this weekend. Only 7 more games to come after tonight, of course, in the weekend, because Man City Palace has been postponed and Wolves Arsenal have already played because of that Carabao Cup final, so they are out of the scene. But 4 games tomorrow. One kicking off at lunchtime, Brighton taking on Liverpool at 12:30. Just the one 3 o'clock kickoff, which is very rare in the Premier League. Fulham against Burnley is at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Chelsea head to Everton, that's our game tomorrow evening at 5:30. Leeds take on Brentford in a very late game tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And then on Sunday, the Tyne-Wear Derby at 12 noon on Sunday, followed by two 2:15 kickoffs at Villa Park and at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as Villa take on West Ham and Spurs welcome Nottingham Forest. Our feature game on Sunday is Spurs against Forest. 2 teams at the bottom end of the table fighting against relegation. Yes, really that is what is happening with Spurs. But they will be hoping with a big 3 points this weekend they can give themselves a bit of a gap to those relegation battling teams, and we will see there on Sunday afternoon. But of course it's all building up to what is a huge game on Sunday, the Carabao Cup final, the 2026 Carabao Cup final from Wembley, 4:30 on Sunday. Arsenal taking on Manchester City as the Premier League's top 2 meet in the first action. Big silverware battle of the season, of course, and they're battling for silverware in the Premier League. And when it comes to the league title, and Arsenal certainly having a bit of room, a good bit of room ahead of City on that front. But when it comes to a final one-off game, who knows who will come out on top in that one. We'll find out Sunday at 4:30. So a busy weekend before our final international break of the season, which we'll see, of course, our final European playoff spots decided in terms of the World Cup in the summer. We'll have all that action. And then, at the start of April, we'll be back with FA Cup quarter-final action on Easter weekends. And then the Premier League will return on the 11th weekend of 11th and 12th of April. It's a long way away. It's 3 weeks away, which is quite a long time of a break in the Premier League. Very unprecedented. As I said, these 2 teams, because they're not in FA Cup action, don't play their next games until 3 weeks from tomorrow for Bournemouth and 3 weeks from Monday for Manchester United. So you got to say, a long break for those 2 teams to come. But a big second half after this 15-minute break they've had between the first and second halves. No goals in the first, but will there be more action in the second? And who will come out on top? We'll find out. Second half between Bournemouth and Man United is on the way next. Sure, one last kick. This is going to be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a 4th, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable! Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible! Welcome back to Premier League Live on this Friday night as we kick off match day 31 in the Premier League. And another huge game to come for you tomorrow as Chelsea continue their fight for the Champions League places and they head to the Hill Dickinson Stadium to take on an Everton side who've had a bit of a resurgence of their own and maybe hoping for European football of their own to worry about this season. Everton against Chelsea tomorrow, 5:30 on LFS. Before all that, we have a game to decide tonight on the south coast between Bournemouth and Man United. It is goalless at the break and the players just emerging from the tunnel for the second half. Man United are already out there and discussing what they can do to try and take this game away from Bournemouth. A game so far which they've had the better chances but haven't been able to take them. And will that come back to haunt them? Or will Bournemouth struggle to match Man United tonight over the 90 minutes? We'll find out. Don't forget as well to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you all for joining us tonight for this one. Kicking off your weekend with a quality Premier League game on the south coast. Let's hope for some goals to add to the spectacle we've seen so far. Alex Scott and Marcus Tavernier having a good conversation there, whatever they're talking about, before kick-off as they get us back underway to the home side. Although it will be just poetic, the fact that these two shared 8 goals between them in the reverse fixture, and the fact they wouldn't be able to score one against each other. That would be just kind of ironic if that was to be the case. I mean, I don't want a 0-0, but it would just be the irony of it. Here's Evan Nielsen. Under pressure there, Cunha plays it through for Mbermo. And Jorge Petrovic, as he has been all night, on the end of every Man United shot. So here come Bournemouth on the breakaway instantly. Christie down the left. Amin Adli right back to the action here. Adli cuts back inside, finds Tavernier, lays it off for Christie. Shot well over the bar, but better build up from Bournemouth. And I don't know what they've taken at half-time, Bournemouth, but they're all very giggly. I mean, Ryan Christie had a shot to kill himself laughing. I mean, it was a pretty funny-looking shot, but in the end, came to nothing. Well, Bournemouth are unbeaten in the last 5 Premier League games against Man United. That's a good record, 1-2 and drawn 3. They've scored more goals in these 5 games, in 13, than they did in their first 12 games against the Red Devils in this competition. In the Premier League, in the division, 10 they'd scored in the previous 12. So certainly a flurry of goals against United in recent meetings for Bournemouth. Of course, 4 of them came in the reverse fixture this season, but still a massive improvement in recent outcomes. Truffert. Hoof ball over the top. Evan Nielsen making the run in behind, but Senne Lammens. I have to say, both goalkeepers have been very confident tonight, very strong for their respective defences. Everything that's been thrown at them, they've been able to counteract and be a very well-worthy wall in the way of any goals tonight. Senne Lammens and Jorge Petrovic. Well, Man United have won just 1 of their last 4 trips to Bournemouth. Drawn their last 2, 1-1 and 2-2 in the last 2 seasons, both coming in the latter half of the season. Their only win in that last 4 was in May of 2023 when they won 1-0 here, with Casemiro scoring the only goal of that game in the 9th minute. And Bournemouth won 4 games ago here. That is one of only 2 home league victories against Man United. That was in November 2019, where Bournemouth beat Man United here 1-0. Josh King with the only goal of that game, and the only other Bournemouth home win against United was their very first meeting here. It was December 2015. Louis van Gaal was the Man United manager. Here come Bournemouth here. Again, Truffert got into a good position, but the ball across the box didn't quite work out the way he wanted it to. And now Jimenez on a chase to get ahead of Cunha, but he did well there. Alex Jimenez. As I was saying, Bournemouth 2-1 winners against United back in 2015. Stanislas and Josh King again, either side of Marouane Fellaini's equaliser for Louis van Gaal's United. And an Eddie Howe Bournemouth that beat United back then. Eddie Howe actually the manager recording the only 2 wins at home for Bournemouth against Man United. Christie, lovely ball down the left. Evan Nielsen just doesn't have the pace to keep with Dallo there. I have to say, Eddie Howe might have a bit of a vengeance against United, because of course his Newcastle United side, despite being down to 10, are the last team to beat Man United. That was at St James's Park on the 4th of March. They were a man down and scored that late winner through Willa Sula, did Newcastle. That recorded the first ever defeat for Michael Carrick as Man United boss in 2 spells. Albeit a handful of games, but I mean, he started perfectly, winning 6 of his first 7, and lost his 8th and won his 9th. Again, home against Aston Villa. James Hill to take this long throw for Bournemouth down the right hand side. Launched into the box. Flick on at the front post. Lamans had the punch. Scott with this shot, and that's directed wide in the end from Tavernier. There's a player down here for Bournemouth. The referee has to check up on. Yeah, I mean, Adley was the one that was caught in the end by Senna Lamans, but after he cleanly got to the ball there, the United goalkeeper. Good, strong goalkeeping. No, definitely not a foul there. Better though from Bournemouth again. Looking more of a threat so far in this second half. Looking more dangerous in the wide areas. Lamans with the long kick that didn't have the desired effect. Straight out of play for a throw. Well, Man United certainly don't have the stranglehold they did have against Bournemouth in the early moments, but this game, as I said, could go either way. That's the fine balance we live on. Here is Luke Shaw trying the cross, blocked by Rayan on the cover. Behind for the corner. It was a cross that was going back towards the edge of the area. Deflected off Rayan, got his foot in the way. Looped over the goal. Behind for the corner, which Bruno Fernandes will take. First corner of the second half. United put 6 bodies in the middle. Fernandes, right-footed delivery, deep, back post. Bounces through a lot of players there, and they say the last touch was off a United player. That's going to be a goal kick. See it here. Is it Lenny Yoro? Does he get any contact to it? Or was it straight through from Bruno Fernandes' delivery? Nonetheless, comes to nothing, goal kick. Menu spreads the ball well out to Diogo Dallo on the right hand side. Has to reverse it back the ways though to Lenny Yoro. Now back to Sene Lamans. A little bit more indecisive, Man United. Lamans goes a little longer, sailed over the head of Mbomo and seen back to his goalkeeper by Adrian Truffert. I think they've got the grips with the way Man United want to build up and play through the lines, Bournemouth. They've been able to really close those passing lanes off, and they certainly the start of the second half, and as well as the end of the first half as well, they ended it strongly. Christie, that wasn't usual for him as he misplaced the pass to Adrian Truffert. Fought back by Tavernier. He picks it up here. Forced into an early pass that dispossesses Bournemouth. Nessie, Truffert with a little flick. And Tavernier in the mix, and nicely won back there by Amin Adley. Evan Nielsen wrestling, winning the throw in out of Lenny Yoro. They wanted an offside there, Man United, but flag never went up. Throw in to Bournemouth down the left. That's another aspect of Bournemouth's game you have to really admire. The fact that, they haven't been anywhere near their best tonight. Man United have played a strong game against them so far, but have that fighting spirit, never to give up on any ball. Bournemouth, they're always in a tussle, always in a fight, wrestling in their duels. They never give up easily here. Exactly what you want to see, and it's exactly what you expect from an Andoni Iraola side. Christie, true fair down the left, feeds it to Amin Adli wide. Again, lots of white shirts in the way. Adley's cross finds Christie, little back heel. Adley was beaten to it by Mbeumo. Drops for Jimenez, who hit it straight, but hit it straight wide. Goal kick. Yeah, Adley did well here. Little flick. Christie trying to return the favour with a little back heel of his own, but good defending by Brian Mbeumo. Beat Adley to it, and as it dropped for Jimenez, he struck it wide. Well, you'll be happy to know that in all of the meetings between these two sides in the Premier League, since Bournemouth were first promoted to the division back in 2015, there have never been a 0-0 draw between the two sides. A couple of 1-0s, never a 0-0. I mean, Adley, that was poor. I mean, there's always a first time for everything, but history seemingly showing us that these two always find a way to find at least one goal past the other. Albeit when it comes to clean sheets this season, Djordje Petrovic has had 9 clean sheets in this campaign, played 30 games in the Premier League for Bournemouth, so all 30. 9 clean sheets. Sene Lammens, of course, will be a little bit less with his late addition to the team. 5 clean sheets and 24 appearances this season in the league for United. Conceded 30 goals in that run as Sene Lammens. Djordje Petrovic has conceded 46 goals all season. Here is Evan Nielsen hanging on to that ball. Rayan, a little bit loose, got there, sliding tackles everywhere. How's Bournemouth back onto the ball? Rayan challenged, Christie picks it up. He gives it away cheaply. Christie then picks it back up, bounces off him, and back to United. Neither side want to keep the ball there, as that's a good bit of covering by James Hill, and he wins his side a throw. That's fantastic defending against Matej Cunha, who was in acres of space until James Hill closed it out. Petrovic clears. Fernandes trying to pile the pressure on. Senesi follows up that clearance. Cunha brings it down. Mainu. Cunha. 12 minutes gone in the second half, and no further signs of goalmouth action that will test this goalless scoreline at the moment. Well, the benches have their say. They did in the reverse fixture. Late goals from substitutes. Maguire. Shaw. Down the left. Matej Cunha. Up against Alex Scott here. Cunha's delivery. It was a good ball and Mbeumo couldn't reach and was too far ahead behind Ahmad. Evan Nielsen with the hold up here. Well held. Adley plays it to Tavernier. Nice play by Christie. Finds Alex Scott in space for Bournemouth down the right. Plays it to Rayan. He's got options ahead of him. Rayan into the box. Pokes it forward. Tavernier. Offside flag against him though, but Sene Lammens made the save. He didn't know the flag was going up. Keeper to the rescue again, but the flag was the ultimate rescuer for Man United there. See it here. Rayan. Really nice. Carries Luke Shaw tight as he pokes it through. Tavernier just timed his run a little bit wrongly, just a little bit early, and offside he was. Finding some Little gaps in the Man United armour at the moment. That's a lovely takedown by Caoimhan behind Alex Jimenez. Jimenez trying to battle back though. Caoimhan steps inside him and is dragged back, and that's going to be a penalty. It's a sloppy one from Alex Jimenez. He knew he was beaten by Matej Caoimhan, and he concedes a pretty sloppy penalty, and that's going to be a spot kick to Man United. Yeah, beautiful takedown by Caoimhan in the first one. Jimenez knows he's beaten there. He battles back well and has Scott for cover, but then the skill from Caoimhan to step inside the two players, and Jimenez wraps his arm around the chest of Matej Caoimhan, grabs at his shirt and says, "You're going nowhere but to the ground." And that is 10 times out of 10 going to be the referee pointing to the spot. And Alex Jimenez with his 9th yellow card of the season, one away from a 2-match ban, by the way. That's the least of his worries at the moment. He might have given away the big chance in this game that breaks the deadlock in this game. Right on the arm mark, Djordje Petrovic, who's come up trumps for Bournemouth all night so far, against Bruno Fernandes, the Man United captain. Fernandes, 47 taken, 41 scored at Man United from the penalty spot. Can he make it 42 to give United the lead at the Vitality Stadium, which will be a huge, huge goal? Bruno Fernandes takes a couple of breaths up against Djordje Petrovic. Whistle's gone from the referee. Fernandes has step up, right-footed, finds the bottom left corner, and Bruno Fernandes, like so often for Man United, is their saviour, is the one that carries this team forward, and he is the one carrying them on his shoulders here in the South Coast. It was Jimenez's mistake, Cunha's skill, and Bruno Fernandes' clinical finish from the spot, and Man United are in front. Bournemouth 0, Man United 1, and that's the goal this game needed. A helping hand from the Bournemouth fullback, Djordje Petrovic, sent the wrong way, and Bruno Fernandes tucking it in the bottom left corner. Little hop, skip and a jump, and a side footer into the bottom left corner. Bruno Fernandes, an absolute goal machine for United, creates them and finishes them. 42 out of 48 penalties he scored for Man United. An incredible record. And sometimes when you need a little bit of luck, you work for it, and sometimes it falls your way. And for Manchester United, for the majority of this game, they have been the better team and the more creative activity. Sometimes you work for your luck and it comes for you. And Alex Jimenez, who was having a pretty good recent last 20-25 minutes against Matej Caoimhan after he was dominated early, is the one that ends up giving away the chance and gifting United a golden opportunity. And as it stands, Manchester United will be going 4 points, within 4 points of Manchester City. And maybe second place might not be so tightly locked up by the blue side of Manchester just yet. And as we show you the live table on the left hand side of your screen, Arsenal very much well clear, 70 points, 9 clear of City on 61. And Man United, albeit have played a game more than City, winning this night, as it stands, will be on 57. That will be 6 clear of Villa and 4 behind Manchester City. Bit of a world of their own there, Man United, leading the charge for Champions League football. And leading the charge is the team that are the best of the rest, really. And the travelling Man United support enjoying their South Coast trip. making their voices heard here at the Vitality Stadium. That's a lovely ball through. Cunha's in again. Jimenez with a block. Man United corner. Well, it's going to be more of an uphill battle really now for Bournemouth. Got the disadvantage being a goal down, and what does Andoni Iraola do? What has he got up his sleeve for this Bournemouth team in the last 25 minutes? A Bournemouth team that really no late goals. Love a late goal of their own. And there's quite a lot of time still left of this, 25 minutes. United with a corner. Fernandes to deliver, left-hand side. Second would be a body blow. Taken short. Nice little 1-2. Fernandes working the angle. Cunha left it. Drops for Shaw, a little bit unorthodox. As Mbomo's delivery. Headed by Tavernier and plucked out of the air by Jordi Petrovic, who they've said has kept it in play there. Fabulously done by Petrovic. That looked like it was going for a corner. Scots. Down the left. Linking up with True Fair, who wins a throw. Well, that's the only shot on target that Man United have had in the second half. That Bruno Fernandes penalty. Scots, halfway line for Bournemouth. It's their game to chase, it's Man United's to manage. Jimenez. Hill. Jimenez again. Can he make up for the mistake that led to that Man United opener? Scored a huge goal for Bournemouth here in the win over Liverpool. That's actually his only goal for Bournemouth. Came against Liverpool at the end of January. Here come United again though. Here's Ahmad. Steps away from his man, goes down. Wanted another penalty there. Wasn't too far away from giving it there. It looked like the referee, but Stuart Atwell waves it away. I think he has another claim there. I think Ahmad has a claim. That should be a penalty. Like he was dragged down too. Bournemouth keep the move on. Rayan. True Fair steps inside, finds Christie. Christie with a bit of space. Finds the corner. Ryan Christie. Captain at one end, captain at the other. And Bournemouth are level. How contentious could that be? United with a penalty claim at one end. And Bournemouth right up the other. True Fair making everybody think he's going to cross it. He chips inside. Finds Ryan Christie. Edge of the box. Accurate as you like from Christie. Beating Sene Lamans. But is this a penalty at the other end? Oh, I think he's lucky there. True Fair a little bit. He does pull Ahmad, but is it enough for a penalty? The referee didn't think so, and he was right there. And right up the other end, True Fair plays a key role in getting Manchester United, well, getting Bournemouth, sorry, their leveller. Great finish by Ryan Christie. Again, you see it here. Incredible from Christie. Tucking it into that corner. Really wonderfully well done. Bournemouth are back level. And we've got a game on here at the Vitality Stadium for the final 22 minutes. And VAR, of course, looks at everything. Looks at goals, looks at all the build-up to the goals. And they were looking at it, Craig Pawson and his the VAR team. but they said they'll stick with the on-field decision and the goal stands. So Bournemouth are level through Ryan Christie, set up by Adrian Truefair. And that is game on at the Vitality for the final 22 minutes. Fernandes' penalty sparked the game into life. Ryan Christie giving Bournemouth their leveller. They're right back in here, United. Cleared away, just scrambled clear the last second. Now Bournemouth with a bit of momentum to have an air caught out, but he's given it, won it back, and they're on the breakaway here, Bournemouth. It's Adley down the left. Got 3 in the mix. And Adley's cross off the boot of Harry Maguire. And cleared away by Man United. Towards Cunha, who's got Jimenez in his sights again, but Jimenez got the better of Cunha that time. Much better defending, but no one there in his team's colours to help him out. Fernandes picks it back up, finds Cunha. Goes again at Jimenez. Cunha tries to take him on and blocked by Jimenez behind for the corner. And as goals change games, so the substitutes of course, and a triple change incoming for Bournemouth. And Man United also going to go to their bench. Looks like Benjamin Šeško is ready to come on here. And a chat with Johnny Evans, giving him some instructions. It looks like it's going to be the end of the night for Brian Mbeumo. It's been a quiet night for him. Mbeumo, he's going to be replaced by Benjamin Šeško. More of a natural centre forward, Šeško. Šeško on for Mbeumo, and Benjamin Šeško, a man in form, a man who can make the difference for Man United, and more recently has made the difference. Scored 5 goals in his last 7 games for Man United. And a lot of key ones as well, winners, equalizers. Fernandes from the corner, right-footed delivery, back post, headed in, and it's in off Harry Maguire. Back in front again, from a corner, from a set piece. Fernandes finding Maguire. Bournemouth's level, it didn't last too long. Bournemouth 1, Man United 2. United in front once again. Bournemouth can't believe it. It was a deflection in the build-up that led it to Harry Maguire's head. But see it again. Fernandes' delivery right to the back post, and who gets the header? Is it Senesi? It gets the flick on. It is, and it just bounces off the head of Harry Maguire. Oh, it actually doesn't come off Maguire at all. Oh, that's poor. It's James Hill. Gotta feel sorry for him there. Maguire was the nuisance in the way, but he did not make any contact, and it's an own goal. And James Hill cruelly penalised there. Very little he could do. That's one of those unfortunate ones, but what did I say about luck? Bournemouth 1, Man United 2. The game's, burst into life all of a sudden. As told you about those Bournemouth subs getting ready. I'm just going to be making those changes. Going to see David Brooks, Adam Smith and Eli Junior Krupi all coming on. So a triple Bournemouth change. And just confirm the players coming off there. Adley, Ryan Christie, and don't have confirmation of the other one just yet. Alex Jimenez. So Jimenez, Adley and Christie all off. Replaced by Smith, Brooks and Eli Junior Krupi. Triple change for the hosts, and have to do once again they did before and find an equalizer. As I said earlier, if there's anything about an Andoni Iraola side, is they never give up. They're always in the fight. They've got a late goal in the locker. The man who got the first Bournemouth goal no longer on the pitch. Just substituted. What can the options off the bench deliver to help Bournemouth in their cause? Senesi. Tavernier guides it out to the left, finds Brooks. Back to Senesi. Trying to go direct, gets a little bit of a deflection. Back to Senesi. Still going Senesi! Hit there from range, just over the crossbar, but the bounce was going all the way of Marcus Senesi until in the end it just carried over the crossbar. But I mean, centre-back striding forward in that sort of position, carrying that amount of quality. Dangerous, to say the very least. Lamans with the long kick. Just over 15 minutes to go here at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 1, Manchester United 2. Smith. Tavernier. Scott. Swung out to the left. Brooks takes it in. Helped out by Krupi. Last touch off a United player. Bournemouth throw. Want to get it going quickly here, Bournemouth. Smith down the right hand side. Tavernier. Senesi. 1-2. Senesi. Into the space for Scott on the half turn. Oh, goodness me, should have been 2-2. Off the underside of the crossbar and behind off the goalkeeper. Oh my God, how is it not 2-2? Again, nice build-up play, but Scott on the half turn here, he takes it in his stride, and it is literally as far into that top corner without going in as it could have been, off the underside of the crossbar, and then bounces off the back of Sene Lamans and wide. How unfortunate. Tavernier to whip in this corner, left-footed, and into the hands of Sene Lamans. Much more in control of that situation. What a strike though from Alex Scott. Beautiful. Right off the crossbar. Oh, it's just on the underside of it as well. So unfortunate. And then the rebound coming off Sene Lamans, and we've seen it so many times come off the back of a goalkeeper and go into the net. Sene Lamans. His luck's coming in tonight. That one went wide off the back of him. Here is Rayan, but they're coming right back at them here, Bournemouth. Rayan, he wanted to shoot. Blocked by Shaw, a mere yard away. Loose ball picked up by James Hill. It's Bournemouth on the offensive. Man United again just trying to hang on to this lead. Not trying to throw it away like they did ultimately the first time round. Nice play here by Truffert. Lovely little bits of skill. Jinking in between players as Krupi had an effort from long range that was a little bit sloppy. Picked up again though by Scott. Given away cheaply as Fernandes rescues United down the right. Casemiro overhit his ball there, and Hill, the last man for Bournemouth, has it under control. I tell you about late flurries. The last 15 minutes of the reverse fixture. Here's Evan Nielsen brought down, and that's going to be a red card for Harry Maguire. Sent for an early shower. Evan Nielsen with a run in behind, dragged down by Maguire, and the referee sure that well. First look and a straight red card. Again, they will protest, Man United, but this game has twists and turns galore. And now Bruno Fernandes, like a lawyer, trying to argue his team's case, and Smith, like the opposite captain, trying to argue his team's case, and the referee acting like the judge, who's already given his verdict. Craig Pawson, of course, will check it to make sure the referee has got the right call. But let's see it again. See it here, Evan Nielsen with a beautiful run in behind Maguire. Again, it's really good movement from Bournemouth. Yeah, Maguire's beaten. Evan Nielsen's through on goal. I mean, it's a red card all day long. Just holds him back from getting to the ball. I mean, it's denial of a goal scoring opportunity at the very least. That's a last man tackle. I mean, it's a couple of reasons why it's a red card, but it is a red, confirmed by VAR. And this game is far from over yet. And a Man United side who've been the better team all night, but at the minute doing everything they can to make sure that Bournemouth still have a fighting chance of getting something out of this game. And now with the extra man advantage, that's just going to help Bournemouth's cause even more. They've got a penalty. Sene Lamans to try and stop Eli Junior Krupi. A penalty that started the scoring, but a penalty at the other end for Bournemouth to try and level it for the second time on the night. Krupi, big goal to score a leveller for Bournemouth in the reverse. Krupi scores a leveller once again. Number 22 makes it 2-2, and Bournemouth are level for the second time tonight. And Man United now down to 10, have 10 minutes to try and hang on to this lead. Never an easy game when you travel to the south coast to face Bournemouth. I said they always give themselves a fighting chance. They are never beaten, this Bournemouth team. And they find a way once again to drag themselves from deficit to level. Could they do the ultimate and find a way to win this later on? 2-2, 10 minutes to go. We're set for a grand finale at the Vitality Stadium. And that's going to trigger some Man United alterations. Manuel Ugarte and Aidan Heaven, I think, are the two that are coming on. Of course, they need to bring a centre-back on now, United, with Maguire's red card. Make some readjustments at the back. I think the smart decision for Michael Carrick is to try and see out this result and try and get a point with the one-man deficit. They don't want to throw it all away, all the hard work they've done so far, Man United. Manuel Ugarte and Aidan Heaven coming on to replace Matej Cunha and Casemiro. So of course I would suspect Heaven will go into the gap that's left by Maguire. And Manuel Ugarte will take the position of Casemiro in midfield. What a great game it's been. I mean, it was great at 0-0. It's a very enjoyable game, but second half, like the reverse fixtures, been full of goals, full of drama, full of action. And now Evan Nielsen's fed it in behind. The wind in the sails of Bournemouth. Brooks into the box. A little too far ahead of Krupi, who was making a run in behind there. But it's going to be a bit of an onslaught, you would suspect, from Bournemouth in the latter stages here against United. But even before this, Man United have kind of dropped off in the second half. They've had 2 shots, just the one on target, which was the penalty. They scored a second from an own goal. Bournemouth have had 9 shots in the second half. That's almost double their shots they had in the whole of the first. So they found their way of threatening United. That's only going to be aided by the red card. What a great game. What a fixture to get the weekend off and running. How enjoyable. It's Hill there with a strong header back to his goalkeeper. But as I say, you know, even when there was no goals in the game, Bournemouth were still fighting for their lives to keep themselves in it at 0-0. Some huge saves from Jorge Petrovic in that first half, and then I mean, architects their own downfall with the opener with Jimenez's penalty that he gave away to Bruno Fernandes, and then they got themselves back on level terms again with Christie with a great goal to level it. Then Maguire, ultimately, he wasn't involved. It was a Hill own goal to give Man United the lead once again from a corner. And then it's Maguire that has the defining action at the other end. Gets himself sent off and a penalty. Double jeopardy for Man United there. And they concede that penalty scored by Elia Junior Krupi. Scored the 4th Bournemouth goal for a 4-all draw at Old Trafford in the reverse fixture. And again, Rayan in behind, went down, wanted something there, but waved away by the referee. Went down a little easily there, Rayan. Kobbie Mainoo. Shaw. Nice ball into Benjamin Šeško, who we haven't really heard very much from since he came onto the pitch. A little bit imbalanced now, Man United, of course, now down to 10. Obviously, they're a little imbalanced, but you know what I mean. Unable to keep the ball. Scott. Brooks down the left. Brooks' cross takes a deflection. Brought down by Evan Nielsen. He was a little hesitant to get to it. Thought Krupi was breaking in on it. In the end, the indecision creates a breakaway for Man United. Ugarte. Fernandes. If anybody can snatch something for United, it's him. Ugarte. Back heels it to Fernandes down the left channel. 1v1 against Smith. And Smith there covering it up and winning it back for Bournemouth. And the extra man being used by the Cherries. Brooks bursting down the left again. Inside he comes. Tries to go for the shot, blocked by Dalot. Drop here for Ahmad to find Dalot and get Man United further forward again. Šeško beaten to it by Senesi, and then a foul on Diogo Dalot there. Stray leg from Eli Junior Krupi. Free kick to Man United. Elsewhere tonight in the Championship, Preston are beating Stoke 3-1 in that mid-table battle. Preston not too far away from a playoff place, only 8 points, but 7 games to go, so it's still not without a possibility there as well. As we see another late sub from Bournemouth, Ben Gannon-Doak coming on to replace Rayan. And of course, Ben Gannon-Doak, the Scot, 20 years old, and yet to score for Bournemouth since he joined. Signed for over £20 million in the summer from Liverpool. Yet to score for the club. No better time to do it than tonight. True fair. All 1-2s. That's how Bournemouth led to their earlier opening goal. I have to say, my fantasy team's doing well. Krupi with the penalty and True Fair with a lot of action. Get me 9 points from 2 players. Decent from those 2. Can't complain. Here's Evan Nielsen making the run in behind. He's held it up. Scots is being patient, Bournemouth. The time will come if they work it correctly. One thing about playing against 10 men is patience. You've got the extra man, make sure you use it. Here's Ben Gannon-Doak. Taking on his man in Shaw. Cuts back into the box, but was helped out there, Shaw, by Fernandes. And Šeško trying to get it clear here, United. Nice bits of play, but Mainoo rescuing it away from a throw. And look at the press from Bournemouth. Right on top of Shaw there was Evan Nielsen. Šeško right under pressure, deep in his own half, and Bournemouth wrestling to win it back, but scrambling it clear, United, but only as far as Hill. Scott with space now. Bodies ahead. Scott lays it to the left. Brooks trying to find True Fair. True Fair's cut back. Ben Gannon Doak guides it across, away by Heaven. And seen out well there by Bruno Fernandes against Adam Smith. Fabulous though. I have to say, whatever happens, I've really enjoyed this game. And if it hasn't been a difficult night for United, Bruno Fernandes is really struggling out there. Well, look at that. Goals by teenagers this season. Eli Junior Krupi, 9 goals as a teenager this season. That's 7 more than any other teenager in the Premier League. If there's ever a star boy status that needs to be put on someone, it should be Eli Junior Krupi, who's already had interest from, no disrespect to Bournemouth, but the top clubs. Europe's biggest, to say the very least. Tavernier, down the left. Brooks fires it across. Too close to Sene Lamans to cause any threat, ultimately. Well, if Bournemouth are to draw, as I said earlier, they love a draw. They've drawn their last 3 home league games. They've drawn 14 games this season in the league. That's almost half of their games have ended in a draw. That's 14 out of 30. Just short of half of their games. And they'll have 9 added minutes for the result to go either way. Unbeaten in 10, Bournemouth. The longest unbeaten run in the Premier League currently. As it stands, that would extend to 11. They would love to do that via 3 points rather than the 1. Could they do it? Well, there are only a handful of teams actually in the Premier League that don't have double figures in terms of wins. Jesus, Evan Nielsen was in behind there, and Man United playing a little bit loose with the ball at the back. Tavernier whips in. Lamans watches, Lamans gathers. But as I say, only the bottom 6 and Bournemouth are the 7 teams without double figures wins this season. Palace in 14th of 10 wins, as do Sunderland, Brighton and Fulham, all below Bournemouth. Bournemouth have 9 league wins this season and 14 draws. Just 7 defeats. Only the top 3 have less defeats than Bournemouth this season. Man United, Man City and Arsenal. That's why they're in the position they're in, because the whole adage of if you can't win a game, make sure you don't lose it. I think Bournemouth live by that. That's what it seems like. They draw more games than they win or lose. Yellow card coming out here. It's going to go the way of a Bournemouth player. Adam Smith is the one that's on the receiving end of that booking. Foul here on Caoimhan. Pretty simple decision. Still 7 minutes of additional time to go. More than enough time for the goals scoreline to change at either end. Nicely won back by Smith though off Fernandes, who looks knackered. But Gannon Doak has it stolen away from him by Shaw. Now Fernandes. Further forward for United. Shaw wide on the left. It's one cross. Blocked by his opposite number, James Hill. Out for the United throw. Shaw over to take this throw. Is there another late twist in what has been a pretty chaos-filled fixture this season? I mean, incredible. This fixture's had 12 goals in it in 2 matches. 8 in the reverse, 4 tonight. And it will finish aggregate, as it stands, 6-6 between the two sides. Incredible. Alex Scott. And the left. True fair whips an early cross, and Evan Nielsen with the header over the crossbar. Yeah, gotta say, Evan Nielsen, the one to win the penalty, to give Harry Maguire the red card. It's just really good movement in behind. And listen, he doesn't make Harry Maguire grab him, but the run that panics a defender into doing something silly, even as experienced a defender as Harry Maguire. That's what the best forwards can do. Even when they don't pop up with a goal or an assist, they make impacts in different ways. Krupi poked it through, but well blocked by Dallo there. Whoa. Šeško there trying to get physical, but ended up absolutely body checking Marcus Senesi to the ground there, and that's going to be a yellow card for Benjamin Šeško. Yeah, I mean, it's clear as day. Just shoved Marcus Senesi before he went anywhere near getting to the ball. That's the second yellow card of the season for the Man United centre forward. Still time. 9 minutes to go. Tavernier. Well, as Bournemouth had the ball here, there was some action off the ball between Adam Smith and Bruno Fernandes, I think. And Man United given a free kick here for a foul off the ball. Is Man United going to make a change? Mason Mount going to be coming on to replace Ahmad. And by the way, we can confirm the red card that was given to Harry Maguire was for denial of a goal scoring opportunity. That's the reason he was sent off. And that's the official call from VAR and the referee, why the decision was made the way it was. I mean, as I said, it could have been a multitude of reasons. Last man and Dogzo as well, denial of a goal scoring opportunity. I mean, both red card offences. Bit confusion there from the referee what way he wanted to give that foul. Gannon Doak fouling Luke Shaw, says the referee Stuart Atwell. Battled well, Man United, since going down to 10 men. Bournemouth slightly edging in, of course, as you would expect, but Man United still keeping this alive somewhat as Mason Mount on the pitch. The one on the ball here against Marcus Tavernier. Mount catching the cameraman. Fernandes trying the shot, blocked square in the face by a Bournemouth defender. The referee is just going to stop it as it did catch the head of Alex Scott, who took a firm whack in blocking that Bruno Fernandes effort. Body on the line there, and Scott will be checked over. Alex Scott could have had an unbelievable goal of his own, if you remember, a little earlier in the game. It hit the crossbar and then come off the back of the Man United goalkeeper. So both sides have had big chances that weren't taken tonight. Michael Carrick wouldn't begrudge this draw. The 10th draw of the season for Man United. 7th on the road. And that's actually would be the 3rd successive draw between the sides here at the Vitality. It's actually would be 4 draws out of the last 5 meetings between the sides in the Premier League. The only outlier in that last run would be a Bournemouth 3-0 victory at Old Trafford back in December 2024. Actually, Man United haven't beaten Bournemouth since their win here at the Vitality in May 2023. Bournemouth are unbeaten in the last 5 games against Man United, 1-2 and drawn 3. Before that, Man United had won 3 in a row against Bournemouth, including a league double over them. Krupi holding the ball up wide left. Last few seconds, maybe a bit more than a few seconds with that issue for Alex Scott, by the way. Good block there in the middle by Ugarte. Bouncing ball drops. Mainu flicks it up forward. Hill intercepts. Evan Nielsen takes down. Krupi trying to break down the left. Challenged by Ugarte. Fouled by Ugarte. Free kick to Bournemouth. Wide left. 99 minutes up. If it's going to come, it has to come now. David Brooks and Alex Scott, the two over it. One last hit and hope opportunity. But a point I'm sure both sides will take, considering the circumstances of tonight's game. David Brooks looks the more likely one to take this. Scott's still on the scene too, though. As we hit the very close to 100 minutes. Brooks leaves it. Scott, they're going to take it short here. Scott breaking towards the area. Alex Scott lays it back for Gannon Doak. Feeds it wide to the right. Senesi chips it into the area. Half cleared as it bounces around and off the back of a United player behind for a corner. Ugarte with the clearance. Corner to Bournemouth. 100 minutes and counting. Bournemouth corner, surely the last action of the game. Alex Scott will take just over 11,000 inside the vitality of Bournemouth persuasion. Wait in hope. Scott, right-footed delivery, cleared away at the front post. Gannon Doak keeps it alive. Down the left channel. It's going to go for a goal kick. And that will call to an end a quite incredible game of football we've watched tonight. Two teams willing to go to the very bitter end to get the utmost out of it. And once again, they've shared points with an absolute goal fest. 12 goals in the two meetings between these two sides this season. If there's ever a guarantee of goals in a Premier League game, it's this one, it seems. And they've shown that this season. A game that was 0-0 up until the hour mark, but when Alex Jimenez gave away a penalty, Bruno Fernandes converted to give United a lead. That felt like a lifetime ago. Ryan Christie, the captain of Bournemouth, then found the leveller by stabbing a shot into the far right corner for 1-1. But a few minutes later, from a corner, Manchester United were in front again when James Hill could do little but head into his own net to make it 2-1 United. And then it all took a further twist when Harry Maguire grabbed at Evan Nielsen as he entered the box. Denial of a goal-scoring opportunity saw him sent off, and Bournemouth with a penalty, which Eli Junior Krupi converted to ultimately, like he did back in December, rescue a point for Bournemouth and continue their unbeaten run in the league, which stretches to 11 games. But 2 points drop really for Man United, you'd have to say. Ultimately, in the end, considering the circumstances, probably a point gain with a red card. But for the majority of the game, United with a better side. Bournemouth were hanging in there a lot of the time. Had to come from behind twice. But that is the character of this Bournemouth team. They never know when they're beaten. And I have to say, they're a real dark horse in this European battle towards the end of this season. 7 games to go. Bournemouth find themselves still in 10th, but still very much in the fight. And just a couple of points off possible European places. Albeit a point for Michael Carrick's United, but a point in the right direction in trying to get Champions League football. 4 clear of Villa, 6 clear of Liverpool, and 7 clear of Chelsea. They still lead the way by a margin, but it could have been a bigger margin. And Michael Carrick, I'm sure, will know that. But ultimately, you take what you're given in a tough away game under the lights, especially away at Bournemouth. Final score at the Vitality Stadium, it's finished Bournemouth 2, Manchester United 2. And this cracker gets our weekend off and running in the Premier League. Incredible. 2-2 Lots more to come, and we'll be back in action tomorrow evening as Everton take on Chelsea. As Chelsea look to react to what was a droppage of points for United tonight, albeit they're the furthest battlers away from Chelsea in this European battle. But they will play after Liverpool and before Aston Villa. And what can Chelsea do away at Everton to see if they can keep the chase for Champions League football alive, or even if Everton could give themselves a fighting chance. Everton beat Chelsea tomorrow. The Blues, or the Toffees, would go within 2 points of the Blues. Big game at the Hill Dickinson tomorrow, 5:30. But that is it from us this Friday evening. What a way to get the Premier League weekend underway. 4 goals, a red card, 2 penalties, and another goal fest between the Cherries and the Red Devils. Thanks for joining us. It's great to have your company, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.